Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. In today's video we are going to be back on the 65 Galaxy that is here behind me, so stick around and we will get into what we're doing. Okay, so if any of you guys watched the short I posted the other day, you already know what's going on with the car and probably have an idea of what the video today is going to be over. But for those of you who did not, our motor here in our Galaxy is a 352 FE, and as you guys can see, it has no heads on it. Our heads are in the floor here, and today we're going to be doing a valve job on these heads. We're going to be disassembling the heads, cleaning them up, lapping our valves, putting new valve stem seals in it, and then putting them back on the car with new head gaskets I've got and all that there. So this video here is going to be an in-depth video on how to do a valve job on a set of 352, 360, 390 heads. They're probably all the same. Those are just the only three that I know 100% are the same. So with that being said, we're going to be getting into disassembling this head. Okay, so for doing this, I've got this big valve spring clamp here. You got an end here like this here, so I'm going to put you around back here so you guys can see a little better. And this end here holds on the flat face of your valve. And then you open it up, you put the valve in there, and you're going to clamp this down like that there. And the clamp here, up here, the clamp locks down like this here. So then, that way, sorry my light is probably bad, I'll get you guys a light set up here. Hopefully that'll make you be able to see better. And we can tap this retainer here down. Just like that there. Can you guys see where this retainer here slides down now? And we can get our keepers off just like that there. Pitch them in a bucket, get our retainer there off, and then we're going to open our clamp here back up, making sure we don't lose nothing. And then we will get our spring here off just like this here, and then we can take our valve out the bottom. So just like I said there, we got our springs undone from the top. We can then take our valves out, which this one's going to be stubborn. So then we can just tap the back of the stem, wiggle this, and pull it out, and then we have this out. So we're going to repeat this process for the rest of the valves in this head. Okay, so here now we've got all of our valves laid out in the spots that they come out of the head. So you want to make sure you keep them where they come out of. So, but before we go any further with the valve job, we've got a broken manifold bolt here. So we're going to try to take our handheld torch here, heat this up, and try to twist this out. Oh well, our torching method did not work. It just broke off even. So we will just have to worry about this later. We will drill this and tap this hole. Okay, I also went ahead and removed my spark plugs. But the next thing we're gonna do, I got this in the parts washer here. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this head up, make this thing look really, really nice, get all of my gum and crud out of the actual head where the valves go. And we're also gonna be cleaning up the outside. That way when it's on the car, it looks nice. And then I'm also going to be taking a wire wheel to all of my valves, cleaning all of my valves up, and whenever we get all of this stuff here clean, guys, I will be back showing you how to reassemble the head. Alright, I am back. And behind me here on the headstand, we have got one clean head. Down here on the floor, we have two clean heads. So I done got those all cleaned up there. I also went ahead and I washed all my springs up. All my retainers, all my keepers are all good and clean in that bucket there. So the next thing we're going to be moving on to are our valves here. So I'm going to take a wire wheel and wire wheel these stems down. And then these ends here where the rocker arms have mushroomed them, I'm just going to take and just barely grind this lip off on the bench grinder over here to my left. So I'm going to go ahead, clean all my valves up, and then I'll be back to you guys after I get all that done. Okay, so right here in front of me, all of my valves are shiny clean now. And I've got this valve here just to use as a guide for these holes. As you guys can see, falls in there great. So the next thing we're going to be doing is making sure all of our guides in the head here are good and clean. So what we're going to be doing is I've got this tool here on the end of a drill. It's called a guide reamer. What I'm going to do is just in all these other holes here, just spray a shot of lubricating oil down in the hole there. Then you're going to get your guide reamer here on the end of your drill. You're going to put it in the hole, making sure you're good and square to the hole. And then just in, like that, until you feel that there is no resistance left. And then we can take our valve here that we have to use as a guide and just make sure we float in and out really, really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and do that process there to the rest of this head here, and then when we get it done, I'll come back to you. Okay, so what you guys seen me doing there is we're just checking to make sure that these valves here fit nice and free like this here down in the head. And the ones I laid up top here do not go down in the hole very freely. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take and find the bad spots on these and grind these off just ever so slightly. That way we can get them floating like they should, just like this here. Well, I say that, and then that one's, it's okay. But we're going to go ahead and grind these down. That way they float in the head like they should, just like that there.
You're just grinding just the tips.
Yeah, just the tips here. We're not grinding.
Mushroom.
Yeah, the rocker arms will mushroom these edges here. So that's what we're grinding down. We're not grinding down, you know, the whole stem. Just the tips here of these. Alright, so now we have all of our valves here in our head and flowing like they should be. You want to spray them off and get them as dry as you can, because the next process in this is lapping our valves. So you're going to want to get you a valve lapper tool, which looks like 2 suction cups on a stick. And then you're going to want to get you some valve grinding compound here. What you're going to do with this here is we're going to put it on the valves, and then you're going to stick this thing on the valve and wiggle it back and forth. And what this is doing is this is sanding the edge of the valve and the edge of the seat there. That way we make sure that our valve seals off great and like it should. So I'm going to get to doing this here, and then I'm going to have Dad here film me doing this, and I might film him doing this. That way we can show you guys what I'm talking about.
Put the small cup on the small valve, big cup goes on the big valve. You just put this in the center as best you can, push in, suction fit, pull the valve out. You're going to put a little bit of the valve kind of compound, just tiny little spots, about 3 spots across the valve, like that. And then you put it back in. A little downward pressure. And just rotate it ever so often. The way it moves in a complete circle. You do it for about a minute. Pull it back out. Take you a rag. You'll wipe. You'll start to see all the little dark spots. Those have to all be gone. Same way with the seat.
The seat looks pretty good. Yeah. Seat looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's got some dark spots.
Yeah. So you just want to sand and sand away until you have completely shiny all the way around your seat and your valve. And whenever you have that, that means your valve is good and lapped. We're going to go ahead and do all the valves in this head and then come back. Alright, so right here on the table, we now have all of our valves lapped and sealing off good. So the next thing to do is we're going to start reinstalling our springs here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to get your valve stem seals here. I'm going to set you down just like this here. I'll turn my light on. Maybe if it was plugged in. Okay. Then you're going to take your valve stem seals. You're going to push your valve up. You're going to push it over top of the valve, being very careful not to cut these, and push them all the way down until they seal off around the bottom, just like that there. If you guys can see that. So when you do that, I'm going to do another one here to show you guys. Like I said, just with the cut part down, just sliding this over. Being very careful not to tear it up. Push it all the way down until it seals off on the bottom there. Just like that there. Okay, so then when we get that there done, you're going to want to take a spring right here. You're going to slide him over there. You're going to get your big retainer. It's like this here. Put it on there, start it over the valve stem. Then you're going to take our big clamp tool here that we used earlier, and you're going to put it on the spring just like we did when we disassembled. Close it down just like that there. And we're going to take our little retainer, put it in there, make sure it seats all the way down. Get 2 of our keepers, making sure our taper goes towards the valve bottom. Make sure they fit in the groove well. Make sure you got them all the way in. When you got them all the way in, you're going to want to release your clamp slowly, assuring your keepers stay in their spots. Just like that there. and look over it, make sure it is all sealed well. So, you know, looking just like that there. So I'm gonna do another one where you guys can see another one. So like I said, we got our umbrella seal on. Take our spring, put our spring on. Take our big retainer, put our big retainer on. Make sure it starts over top of the valve stem. Take our clamp, open our clamp up, put our clamp on, close our clamp. Take our little retainer, put the little retainer on. Just like that there. Get 2 of your keepers, making sure the taper goes towards the combustion chamber. Making sure they sit in the groove nicely. And then you're going to want to go ahead and slowly release your clamp, ensuring that your keepers stay in their spots. And then you're going to want to check your keepers, making sure that they are where they're supposed to be, just like that there, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other 3 valves in this head, and I'll come back to you guys. Okay, so I've got this head here done now, ready for painting. I went ahead and swapped out with this head. We're just going to be going the same process on this head. So the first thing we're going to be doing, just to recap what we're doing, we're going to ream out all of our valve guides with our reamer tool, and we're going to fit all of the valves to all of the reamed holes. We're going to lap all of the valves, and then when we lap them all and get them all nice and shiny, the seats and the valves shiny, we're going to be reassembling them with the springs, the keepers, and the retainers and all that, putting them all back together. And when we get that done, we're going to be painting it as well as this head here. Okay, so now we got the head here that I already previously showed already all back together. But over here we got our other head all back together, cleaned, painted. That head has also been painted, but I forgot before I painted these that we got to get these bolts out. We got 1 per head here, so that is going to be the next thing we're going to be doing, and I'll just touch the paint up a little bit later. So we are fixing to start getting the broke bolts out of the head.
All right, guys, we have a broken bolt here. We are going to attempt to drill it out and use one of these super outs to try to get it out. Start off by, we're going to take a center punch a hole in the center of it, get a drill, and try to drill the bolt out, and then where we can drive the easy out down in there and see if we can't get it loose. Here we go. We're going to apply a little heat to this. Hopefully I can do it with this little handheld torch and not have to get the big torch out. Alright, once we get that warmed up a little bit, we will take our easy out. Drive it down the hole, and hopefully this thing breaks loose. We'll heat it up some more. Alright guys, we've tried multiple heating attempts. I even took it over to the other table and tried using the big torch and got it cherry red, and it still would not come out. So we're going to have to do a little different. We're just going to have to just keep upping our drill bit sizes until we get all the way up to the edge of the threads, and then we'll just have to run a tap in it and get the threads all new again. Alright guys, we got it drilled out. To put a 3/8/16 threads back in it, you have to use a 5/16 drill bit. That's what we ended up with. It's got a 5/16 hole. I'm going to try to clean these out a little bit, and then we will run a tap through it and get our threads back like it's supposed to be.
Okay, so we got our tap here real quick, and before Dad gets back out here and retaps these holes, I'm actually going to go ahead and chase all the threads on the other holes with this tap. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray a little bit of oil in every hole and then just run the tap here in, just making sure all our threads are good and clean and all that, except for, you know, the two holes we drilled out there. We'll have to do them just a little bit different. I'll show you guys how to do that. Chasing threads is not very hard, so I'm just not going to show that. But whenever we get back to actually tapping those holes out where we had the broke bolts, I will come back and film how to do that. All right, so we have got Tap Man out here now, and he's going to show you guys how to do this. And he's going to talk about how to do this. So what are we doing here?
Well, last night I drilled the holes out. This is a 3/8/16 tap, and we had to drill it 5/16 hole. And you just go a little bit, go back and forth. Keep plenty of lubrication.
We got plenty of lubrication as we're out. I've got the other can over here. It's blue, the blue can.
Yeah, let me have it instead of this.
We are using Liquid Wrench lubricating oil for lubrication because I really like this stuff. It's really good. And we sell it.
Yeah. You just gotta go back and forth, and then every now and then
take it out, clean the threads.
Take it out.
And just spray it off to clean it. But yeah, the trick is just to go down like a couple rounds, come back. That way you make sure you're cleaning all the threads up. You don't want to just stick it in there and then crank it all the way down, because that'll wind up breaking stuff and not getting a good job. So as you can see, we're going in and we're tightening down like that, and then we're still running it in, and then we're gonna run it back just like that there.
I need one of them
until you get the entire hole there cleaned out. So after we get this one here done, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do this head here, and we'll get those all done. We will come back to you guys. Okay, so we got both of the bolt holes tapped out. So the next thing you're gonna want to do, when putting the heads back on the car. You want to go ahead and make sure you got all your gasket surfaces cleaned up. So I went ahead and I have cleaned the block surface where both of our head goes. I've cleaned up my manifold surfaces for the manifold gaskets. I've cleaned up the actual heads here on your head surface, as well as the manifold surface, the intake surface, and the valve cover surface. And you're also going to want to go ahead and clean up your head bolts. So we've got all, however many head bolts I got, I think it's 20 head bolts there cleaned up. So now we're ready to reinstall heads back on the car. I got my head gaskets over here. I got bearing the floor. I got my head gaskets right here. So we are fixing to get to reinstalling the heads on the Galaxy. Okay, so now we are going to be reinstalling our head. Well, Dad here is going to hand it to me, and we're just going to sit it down on our head gasket nice and square. You got it? I've got it. Can you get the front or the center? Okay, got it. Help the dial. Is that where it needs to go? Yep. There it is. Just drop them in the holes and I'll start them. Oh, he's doing shorts first. I forgot.
Just run them down. Just snug, start in the center. Yep.
What do they torque to?
Torque. Put them on 35.
Okay.
We're gonna do it in three segments.
Okay.
You're gonna start in the center. Go center. You're gonna go center, center. You're gonna go edge, edge, and then edge, edge, and then edge, 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 edge. Just work your way out.
And
Center
you said
out.
35?
Do 35. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna torque these on 35. Oh, that just moved.
Yeah, I don't know if that lock works or not. Go to 65.
Now what?
85.
This last torque is going to be 85. Alright, so that has got one of our heads there back on the car. So now we are just going to repeat the same process on this side. Just going over it. Just going to snug your bolts down. Then you're going to torque them to 35 from the center out. Then you're going to go 65, center out, same pattern. And then you're going to do the same pattern again to a final torque of 85 foot-pounds. So those measurements are in foot-pounds. So we are going to be repeating the process on the other side now. All right, so now we have got both heads back on the block here. So now what we got to do is just, put the whole top of the motor back together. If you guys have any questions about that, I'm not going to film it. I do have another video posted over that, over doing intake gaskets on the car, which we just did here a little while back. So if you have any questions about that, just go back and watch that video. I just not going to cover it twice. So from the next thing we will be having is hopefully a startup video in here somewhere. Maybe hopefully it don't tear up again, which it shouldn't, because we should have the problem fixed, guys. So like I said, we're fixing to start the car next in the video. Okay, so we've got the motor completely back together now. So now we're going to be starting the car up. All right. So there we go. We had a good first start up out of the Galaxy. So now we're going to raise the door up, back the car out, and we're going to be letting the car run outside. Okay, so that has now got our Galaxy back running again, guys. So hopefully that'll be the end of motor work on this car for a little while. We're just letting it sit out here in the driveway and burn off and everything. So that's all boring stuff for you guys. So if you did enjoy the video or found it helpful, please hit that like and subscribe button, guys. We'll catch y'all in the next one.